Do you feel like you're second best in someone's life? Do you find yourself often being treated as an afterthought instead of a priority? It's a painful realization, but recognizing the signs that you're merely an option can be very empowering to you. In fact, it can empower you to seek the respect and love that you deserve. Today we're discussing 15 signs that you are an option and not a priority. Let's get into it. The very first thing we're going to discuss is inconsistent communication. If you find that a person is reaching out to you sporadically, or if they take a long time to respond to any communication that you've sent to them, there's a great likelihood that you're not at the top of their priority list, and pretty much you're an option. Although that person may be very high on your priority list, you are not high on theirs, and you have to face it. The second thing will be unavailability. When you need support and someone to talk to, you usually know who you can call or reach out to. Well, if that person is never available, or often you find that they are not within your reach when you need them, that's because you're an option and not a priority to them. If you were someone of great importance to the person you're reaching out to, they would answer the call, return the text, or reach out immediately. This leaves you feeling like you have to struggle alone, which is unfair to you, especially if you're a good friend or family member to other people. Last minute plans. If a person is always making last minute plans with you, that's because you're not a priority at all to them. Or you are a priority, but you just don't make the top of their list. If they're making limited plans or limited efforts in making plans, that is something that you want to watch. If you are the one that's always making plans with others and you're always the one that is initiating those plans, maybe they don't think you're a priority, hence the reason why they don't make plans or they don't initiate the plans. And they show very little effort in doing so. Putting others first. If your friends or family are putting others and their needs and priorities above you and yours, that is indicative of you being an option to them and not a priority to them. The fact that you would like to spend time with them is not of great importance, hence the reason why they always put others' needs before yours. I'll even take it a step further. If they are ignoring your needs altogether, then there's a great likelihood that they really have not made you a priority. You are an option. They'll get to you whenever they can, if they get to you. When there's lack of future planning, I mean like no one is planning anything that involves you, or you're not included in any of those type plans, take heed. And a very good way to test this is to listen very carefully and see if they include you in plans in the near future. That if they will not commit to anything that involves you, then you're not a priority. You're definitely an option. When they are sending you mixed signals, that means that their words and actions aren't lining up. There's a reason for that. Not only is this very confusing to you, it also doesn't give you a clear understanding of how you fit in their life, or if you are even important to them in their lives. If it's hard for you to decipher their true intentions, you an option and not a priority. Another thing to take a look at, if they disregard your boundaries that you've established, that means they exceed the boundaries in any way. And if they do it consistently, that's because they feel empowered to do so. And not to mention, there may be a sense of entitlement there. They believe that what they have to communicate or do is so important that they can exceed the boundaries that you've established. This is a clear indication that you are an option and not a priority, which is obvious given the amount of disrespect they've exhibited, not to mention their total disregard for your personal space and your need for time. If your family and friends make minimal efforts to celebrate your major milestones, meaning they don't want to celebrate, or they don't call, they don't reach out, they don't plan your 50th birthday, your college graduation, or the birth of your first grandkid, or your baptism celebration, anything that you identify as a major milestone in your life, if they have very little interest in celebrating that in one way or another, You are an option and not a priority. When you have been kept on standby, you've been waiting patiently, you're them to respond to something that you've asked or to actually include you, clearly you are an option. Because if you weren't an option, then you would not be waiting on them to do these things, to respond to you, nor would you have to wait for them to respond when it's convenient for them and not mutually convenient for both of you. When there is an obvious indifferent to your feelings, meaning they may appear to be indifferent or very dismissive when you're expressing how you feel about something, great or small, they just don't want to hear it or they cut you off very quickly. That's only because they feel that you are an option and not a priority. Not to mention, if they are giving you conditional support, meaning, well, I understand, or I think you're doing a good job, but they are giving you bits and pieces of support, but unable to support or unwilling to support you in a way that you desire. You're an option and not a priority. When you feel like you are unimportant or unworthy, that's only because the people that are in your immediate circle have given you a reason to feel like an option and not a priority. This could be a very vulnerable place and a very bad place to be in because your feelings are hurt. You're feeling down about who you are, your self-worth takes a hit, and you begin to question your place in life. This is not okay, but this is only because you feel like an option and not a priority. I've given you 15 signs to help you determine if you are an option or a priority. Recognizing these signs is the first step in reclaiming your self-worth and setting boundaries in your relationship. Just remember, you deserve to be a priority and not just an option. Surround yourself with loving people who value you for who you are and every aspect of you. I hope that this has been very helpful for you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.